Good morning. Welcome back to my back porch. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about Swedish death cleaning, and I've mentioned it before. So go to the library, get the book, you can get it used on Amazon. You really need to read it. It's an interesting read, and it's funny. And I'm not a reader, and I read it. It'll take you no time flat. So the theory behind Swedish death cleaning is to pass on your items before you die. So your family's not left with, all these items they got to clear out, figure out who gets what, blah, blah, blah. So I asked my husband, I said, hey, what do you think about giving Amber one of your mom's tablecloths? And he said, well, I haven't thought anything of it. And I said, well, your mom and Amber were two peas in a pod. And she loves all the stuff, that your mother had that we have given her. Now, my late mother-in-law was an eccentric to the extreme, and I loved her for it. She traveled the world. She bought the most beautiful things. If she wanted to go do it, she did it. She rode a camel into the ancient city of Petra. I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be her when I grow up. Well, here's the tablecloth we ended up picking out for my daughter. And the detail on it's just beautiful. And yes, I do use these. I throw them in the washer and in the dryer. I use everything because that's one of the things she taught me was use everything. So this one is going to go up to my daughter for her to enjoy and her to use and for her to make memories with her family with it. Now, years ago, when I was going through my sickness, some friends had asked if they could bring over dinner. And I said, oh, that would be wonderful. Yes, please do that. Well, just the week before, her husband decided to take a really good look at my china cabinet. Okay. And he said, you have beautiful china. I said, oh, thank you, and I gave him a little bit of the brief family history on it. And then I pulled out some of these tablecloths. I said, look at these, aren't these gorgeous? And he said to me, my children will never be allowed to use your china or your tablecloths. And I said, why? Why not? It's just china, and these are just tablecloths. That's all they are. They're material possessions. So when they decided to bring dinner over, I said, I'm going to set my table with the tablecloths that we're not allowed to use, according to him, and the china that his kids can't use as well. I did. I set the table for him. And the twins were about 2. Yes, I gave a 2-year-old china. And you know what? They didn't break it. They were fine. The china's fine. It survived a 2-year-old. Well, we get done eating dinner, and I go into the kitchen, and I grab some cupcakes that I had bought. And I gave each of the twins a cupcake. And they took that cupcake, and they smashed it into my tablecloth. Just smashed it in there. I sat there and laughed because then they were picking it up and eating smashed cupcake. Their father was mortified. He was just mortified by this. And I said, what's the big deal? All we're going to do is throw it in the washer. It's fine. It's fine. And I made a great memory with that tablecloth. And I know that might sound crazy to some people, but I have that memory, and it's so fun. And eventually, I'm probably going to give her that tablecloth just because then she can say, oh, I remember the time when y'all were smashing cupcakes into this tablecloth that came from Damascus. You know what? It's just a tablecloth. And I want my daughter to make memories like that. These are just tablecloths. These are material possessions. And, that's part of the Swedish death cleaning is passing on some of the things that you have that maybe you're not using. That, you can let go of and let a family member enjoy it. And that's what I'm going to do. and I'm really excited to give it to her. And I chose green because, you know, Christmas is coming up and she can decorate her table with it. And so I'm really excited to give it to her, and I hope she's excited to receive it. Yay! So a couple more items out of my house, part of decluttering and Swedish death cleaning. And I've been having to dig real deep on my decluttering this week because, like I've said a million times, my home is pretty much clutter-free. But I'm still finding stuff. It's really strange. And once you start decluttering, it's almost addictive. You get addicted to the extra space. You get addicted to not having to do as much work because you don't have as many possessions. It's really addicting. And I'm just so excited that I get to declutter these items, and I know for a fact someone else is going to enjoy them. And it just thrills me to no end. So I'm going to go put these in a box so I can get them in my stack of stuff that I'm getting ready to take up to Illinois tour. And I think what I'm going to do is either after she goes to bed or get up early one morning before she gets up. And I think I'm just going to put it on her table and see if she notices that I gave her one of her late grandmother's tablecloths. And I hope she enjoys it and that she is thrilled with it. And to me, that's going to be the best reward, because I would rather see them used and loved than sitting in my china cabinet. So, yay! So if you've got anything that you've been looking at that maybe you don't use very often, but another family member really loves it, you know, you might consider passing it on and letting the items get used instead of stored. Items were meant to be used and loved and cherished. They were not meant to sit in boxes in the basement unused. Life is too short. Use your good stuff. Use it. Pass it on to somebody else in the family that can use it. Pass it on to a friend that has always admired it. If you're not using it, and you know somebody else can get joy out of it and get use out of it, really consider passing it on to them. So it's Sunday here. It's a nice cloudy day. I've got all the windows open, all the doors open, airing out the house, and football's getting ready to start. So I'm going to end it here with just the reminder, you know, if you get the book and read it, take a good long hard look at your items and see what, you know, if you've got anything you want to pass on. I'm not going to sit here and tell you to get rid of everything in your house and all that. But this was my personal story, and this is my personal journey on the Swedish death cleaning, is I would rather somebody use it and enjoy it than it to just sit in my china cabinet. All right, guys, don't forget to like, hit subscribe, and the bell icon, and I will be back later. Bye, guys.